Okay. Now let's.
And we're live.
Yeah,
Hello,
but
Tim.
let me refresh it on YouTube to be sure.
Okie dokie.
Here we go. Yeah, there's just a delay on YouTube. Yeah, there's
Oh,
a little
okay.
bit of a delay on YouTube, so I had to refresh the page though, and
Okay.
then it it went. It had a few second delay.
No
So
worries.
if you have YouTube open, mute it because
Yeah, no,
the
I don't.
audio isn't gonna match up because
Yeah, no,
the
I don't have that.
delay.
So, hello, Tim. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing, buddy?
Good, and we got one person in chat right now. Travels with Jason. Hi,
Oh, hey,
Jason.
Jason. Hey, man. Hope you're doing all right, buddy.
Okay, anybody in chat? Here's the StreamYard link for anybody in chat that wants to join us on camera or just using a microphone. So did you
Looks
get
like
any
it's.
new? Huh?
So it looks like it's very sunny there today where you are.
Yeah. So did you get anything new in the mail, Monkey Boy?
I got a couple. I got a couple things over the weekend. Yeah. Let's see. I've got them. I've got them all here. Um, First thing I picked up, I found in the charity shop was a little stormtrooper LED light.
Okay, so
Um,
that's not part of like an action figure, or it's not a
no,
but
it's just
it's
a
not
little light.
something it's not something to put like money in. It's not a
No,
little
no, you
bank.
just it's got a little switch on the bottom, and I think it's just like a little light. I don't know if it works or not. I just found
Okay.
it in the charity shop. I think you call them thrift stores. Um, I thought
Yes.
he'd go quite nicely. I could sit him in my bathroom. I thought that'd be quite cool. Um, and I picked up a couple of loose Black Series figures that I wanted to display because I don't open if I've only got one of something, I don't open it. Um, so I bought a couple of loose figures to display. The first one was the Rebel Hoth Trooper.
Okay, the Rebel Hoth. Oh, so it's one of the modern ones. It's not a
Yeah, it's the
vintage
Black
tenor.
Series. No,
Okay, so
it's the 6-inch Black Series version. Um,
okay.
and I wanted this for display because it comes with two faces. He's got another face that's stored in his backpack. Um,
Mhm.
I don't know if you've seen that. I don't know if I can open it up. I can't remember how to do it now. Um,
Yeah, I don't.
but anyway, he's got another face that comes in his backpack, and you can swap the faces out. There's one with a beard and a moustache like this one, and then a
Okay.
regular face as well. Um, but it's quite a nice figure. The goggles are um, removable, so you can put the goggles down over his face if you want to. There's various different display options for them. So if you've got two, you can. I think there's about well, I don't know how many combinations there are, but he's got this scarf around his neck as well. That can be turned the other way so that it covers his mouth and nose.
Mhm.
So if you've got a few of these figures, you can have them all looking very different. There's so many different display options available with this figure. You can definitely army build it, and you can have them all looking different. So I don't know how many combinations there are, maybe 8 or so different combinations you can have with the different faces, the goggles on, goggles off. I mean, there's loads. There's probably more than 8 actually. Yeah, so I thought he would be a cool one to get, so I got him.
Mhm.
Uh, and I also got Clone Commander Cody. If I can show
Mhm.
him on the camera. Um, I'm not a huge fan of the clone troopers, to be honest. I prefer other kinds of troopers. The clone troopers never really did it for me. But I do like the look of Cody. He looks quite a bit different, and I enjoyed him in the animated series. So I figured I'd pick him up. I do have him in a on card as well. But
Okay.
I wanted a loose one, so I got him. He was quite cool, or he is quite cool.
Hmm.
Um, Another thing I got was, and I don't know really why I bought this, but do you remember last week we were talking about the new Flash movie, and I was saying how I didn't really like Supergirl because she wasn't blonde. Well,
Yeah,
I bought the
I remember you
Supergirl.
mentioning Supergirl, girl, but I don't remember
Yeah,
the
well,
Flash movie.
if I can get this so that the glare isn't directly on her face, just give me a
So
second.
that's Supergirl with dark hair.
Yeah, she's got like short dark hair.
Hmm.
Um, and I wasn't really a huge fan of the design. I'm obviously, like I said last week, I prefer her with long blonde hair. But
Yes.
I did decide to pick up the character anyway because I do like Supergirl, and I thought, well, if I don't buy it now and I try and buy it in 3 months' time or 6 months' time, it's going to be difficult to get hold of, and they're going to cost a fortune. So I got one at retail price.
Hmm.
And it's a bit strange. Her face looks very grey. It doesn't really come across on camera, but she's got a very sort of grey look to her face, and her face actually reminds me of the Black Series Poe Dameron figure that was released quite a few years ago now. The first release of the Poe Dameron figure, he had a strange sculpt to his face, and he had like a 5 o'clock shadow. And it seems like she's got a bit of that going on here, but you can't really see it on the camera. It's coming across okay, but to the naked eye, she's got a very strange grey complexion. She doesn't look particularly well. Um, but anyway, so that was another one that I picked up, and that was it for action figures. The only other thing that I picked up was this Ghostbusters storybook. Um, I had this when I was a child, but I don't know where it is. I don't know where it went. I'm sure I've still got it somewhere, but I wasn't able to find it, so I bought myself another one, and it's just a storybook of the film. It's got some quite good pictures in, some photos from the movie. Um, I'm not doing a very good job of doing this, but
It's
you can
okay.
see that we've got the library ghost there, which is it's a bit of a
Yes.
shame that the photo of the library ghost is it sort of disappears into the gutter of the book, so you don't get a very good picture. But whoever did the layout of this book really didn't take
Hmm.
that into consideration. It's a shame because there are some great images in here. I think there's another one. Hang on, I think there was one of well, you see, there's one of an explosion here, but you can't really see the explosion properly because it's disappearing into the folds of the
Hmm.
book. Um, this was actually quite a big problem in the 80s. There were a lot of storybooks that had photos from the film, but the photographs would disappear into the gutter of the book, and it was always a bit of a shame, really. I just don't think they gave that much consideration to the layout of the book. Um, but anyway, there's Ghostbusters by Anne Digby. So that was a real sort of a real nostalgic moment for me when I got that again because I haven't seen this since I was young, and I used to love this book. I used to love flicking through this. Um, I mean, reading it now as an adult, it's very. I mean, it whizzes through the story. It only sort of picks up on the key points. So it's not particular. You know, it's quite a whiz through the story. Um, but you know, hey, there we go. So
Hmm.
that was what I got this week. How about you? What have you got? Anything exciting to show us?
No, not yet, but hopefully by Saturday I'll be getting Star Wars Vintage Collection, Death Star 2 Return of the Jedi Darth Vader with the removable helmet and mask.
Oh wow, okay. And
I'll
that's
be
the
getting
vintage
that from
collection.
yeah, I'll be getting that from Hasbro Pulse, and since
Oh
I took
cool.
since I took this long Canty 4 hallway out of my bedroom, there were some things on my desk behind it, like CDs and stuff, and I found this little stuffed killer whale that my
Hey.
parents bought for me at Marine World Africa, USA, once when I was
Oh,
very little.
oh, he's cool.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, there was SeaWorld and there was Marine World Africa, USA, and Marine World Africa, USA, I think was in another part of the state, but then it moved to Vallejo, California, which is just a couple hours drive from here, and it changed everything. It seemed like, I know the last time I was there, it just wasn't, they just didn't have like killer whales and dolphins and seals. It seemed like the first time I went back there, they had like some sort of dog show there.
A dog show.
Yeah, and then after that, yeah, they had all different types of animals. I remember they had like tigers and lions, and then they added in a bunch of sharks.
Okay.
It was
Okay.
like an aquarium full of sharks.
Right. Okay. They can only use certain species of sharks in captivity, can't they? Because some of them die very quickly in captivity. I know great whites don't survive in captivity.
Yeah,
They're,
great whites
you know,
just get too big to live in captivity. In fact, there's another. There's the Monterey Bay Aquarium in Monterey, California. They try to raise a great white shark in captivity, and they just hit their heads on the sides of the aquarium. They get too
yeah,
big,
yeah.
so they
They
have
they
been
can't
able.
they can't handle it. Their mental health just goes completely crazy. Great
So
whites, for some reason.
yeah, but what they can do is, I think they can like hatch the eggs in captivity and raise them in captivity for a certain amount of time till they get too big, and then they just release them back into the wild.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I'd like to do a great white cage dive. I think that would be really good. I'd enjoy that. But I don't really agree with some of the practices of these companies that do it, because um, they're encouraging the sharks to come in for food, which can be, it's dangerous for people,
Mm.
and it's also not very good for the sharks to be given food like that. You know, they need to hunt as opposed to just be given free food. But I would like to go in a cage and dive with great white sharks. That'd be something that I'd be really keen to do. I do
Uh,
like sharks.
okay. And reading movies is saying in the chat, sorry I
Oh,
am late. Hi all. And it looks like Jason Travels with Jason is ready to join us on camera, so I'm gonna add him. So now be
okay.
three of us. So anybody else that would like to join us on
Hello,
camera
Jason.
or
All right, mate.
microphone, the StreamYard link is in the chat.
Can
How
you
you
hear me
doing, Jason?
good?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I can hear you. Okay, mate.
yeah.
How you doing,
That's
bud?
good.
Make sure that you're muted on YouTube so we don't
Yeah,
get
already
echo.
done.
Okay, great.
Already done.
And I love your T-shirt. That's classic Star Wars movie poster.
It certainly is.
Yeah, I've got that on the back of my kitchen door.
I've got it on my bedroom door as well.
Excellent. So what you been up to, Jason? Anything to
Ah,
report?
no, not really. I did pick out a Mars vehicle this week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What one did you get? What series?
Series 2
Series 2.
or
Ooh.
Series 3.
Oh, well, okay. That's
Shall
not
we
helping.
say cartoon series, Series 2?
Okay.
So,
I'm
Series
trying to think.
3 in the toy version.
Okay. Cool. I'm not sure. You've got most of them. Afterburner?
No, the Beetle.
No. Oh, the Beetle. Okay. Cool.
Mm.
Detonator.
That's the one. That's the one.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
Did you? And what sort of state was it in? Complete or?
Complete apart from the missiles, I believe.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Long as it looks good, and it does actually look really good, actually.
Cool.
I'm not too sure about the helmet. If like you said, and Lucas said, and so is Dina said that the helmets can get brickled, and at the
Yeah.
back, it's like a bit missing.
Okay.
But it may not be. It may be the design. So I
Right.
need to have a
Okay.
little look and see what the helmet pattern was.
Yeah, I haven't got detonators, so I couldn't tell you. But certainly they did get quite brittle, and they break easily. Especially if you're taking them on and off the figures. If you're not careful, you can break them. I'm quite lucky. All my mask helmets are all still quite soft. But depending on how you store them, they can get quite hard.
Well, this is it. I mean, the whole. That's why I think it's the design, because the whole helmet is really rubbery, nice and soft. So I don't think it's been broken. So I think, but how they did it, it looks like it's missing.
Right.
But it's like it looks like an eagle on the front, so maybe it's its mane.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, you can soon check that out online. There'll be images that you can check out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I see you picked up a Rebel Trooper then.
Yeah, got the old Rebel Trooper. Yeah. Yeah, I do. I do quite like the figure. I just like the fact that you can display it so many different ways. I'll probably pick up some more at some point. I can't remember how to get the bloody back open. It's inside. You have to take
it's inside the backpack. I can't. I've got two of them myself. I have, but I think Hasbro or Disney, whoever owns the toy line, missed out on trick on them ones. They should have done a separate pack with all different face color, face different colors, different designs. But you had that one figure, but then they bought another pack out with 6 or 7 different faces, and different colors. They were sold a lot more because people would have bought the multi packs and then gonna buy more Rebel Troopers to put these different faces on.
Well, yeah, I suppose they just want people to buy the same figure over and over again, don't they?
Yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah, but no, it's quite good. I have got I did have one in the box, but because I don't open any of my packs, so I bought that loose. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. It's quite a cool one.
It is a nice figure. I mean, I got to admit, I wasn't, I mean, I don't know when I first started getting the Black Series. I think it might be a year ago or 18 months ago. And I said before that I even said it on YouTube that I will not be getting Black Series figures because I only collect the 3.75 or the 12-inch. And then I think about 3 months later after saying it, it was like, that figure looks really good.
Yeah.
And we got
it's a slippery slope. Once you've got one or two of them, it becomes difficult to not get loads more. I mean, I only planned on getting a handful of them, just the key characters that I like. I've got well over 100 now. So,
you got more than me.
Did you hear Tim say he's got the TVC Darth Vader with the removable helmet?
Oh, has he?
Yeah, I'm getting it on Saturday. It should be coming in the mail by Saturday.
Nice.
That's awesome.
And we have a couple people. I hate to interrupt, but we have a couple people in the chat. Reading Movies is asking if anyone's going to see Oppenheimer or has seen it.
I'm not. It doesn't interest me.
Yeah, I don't plan on seeing it either.
I do want to see it, but I'm going to wait until it comes out on DVD or Blu-ray because a friend of mine went to see it. I think either last week or the beginning of this week. I don't remember. he went to see it recently, and he said it was very good, but he was disappointed with the explosion at the end. He said it wasn't very good. So I think I'll wait for that to come out on some sort of physical media, and then I'll watch it. I do want to see it. I would like to see it, but I won't be going to the cinema to see that, I don't think.
See, I'm lucky. I mean, I can go and see it, and it won't cost me a penny because I've got one of them Odeon Limitless cards.
Oh, cool.
But the film doesn't really interest me. I've seen trailers for it, and it's like a film that's like, nah.
Yeah, and reading movies is saying that he heard that it's 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty long.
And Retro Toy Guy Sai has a question for you, Monkeyboy's Toys.
Okay.
He has to ask
Hello,
you.
Sai.
Yeah, he has to ask you, is that the famous sofa behind him? Or behind you?
Yeah, that is the sofa. It's the only place in my house that I can record a video. At the moment, I'm sitting on my living room floor, which is about maybe 4 square feet of space, and that's the only place in my house that I can set up a tripod and a camera. So I've been asked this before about my sofa setup. It wasn't a conscious choice to use the sofa. It was purely because I don't have anywhere else to film. I've got no other surface I can use to film it on. So it's just out of necessity, really, that I do it on the sofa. It's not ideal, but you've got to make the best with what you've got, really.
Yes, I mean, I am semi-lucky. I mean, I've got behind me my table. I've got my kitchen worktop if I want to do a film in there, and like you probably seen, I've done films in there.
Yeah.
But again, they really the only 2 work spots I can really film at home.
Yeah. I don't have the space to set up a booth or anything like that for photography or for videos. So I just do everything kneeling on the sofa. And at the moment, my sofa's covered in Ghostbusters toys. I've got various Slimers and No Ghost guys and stuff. I keep all this stuff on my sofa to stop the cat jumping on there, because Ewok likes to jump on the sofa and she gets it covered in fur, and then I have to spend 20 minutes taking all the fur off. So when I'm not using it now, I cover it with different items.
Yeah.
So that she can't jump on it. I picked up a Superman.
That's cool.
Superman. He's quite fun. I found him in the charity shop, but I think it was about £3 in the charity shop. I thought, well, I can't really leave it there. I could have left it for some child to enjoy, but I thought, no, I'll have that. So.
Well, it was the same as me. I went, it was a little while ago, I think maybe about a month or so. Or was it before I went to Thailand? I believe it's before I went to Thailand, so it's about 3 or 4 months ago. I was over the Medway area, and I went into the charity shop. And in the toy section, because you know what we like, we go straight to the toy section, don't we? See if there's any retro. I did find some, not 12 inches, a bit more bigger than that. What they call the modern Star Wars figures. I think they might be in 16 inches.
Okay.
Quite big, not big, but sort of about, I don't know if you can see my second hand. But, I think about 16 inches. They had Darth Vader. They had a Stormtrooper. They had Kylo Ren. The new Emperor Knight from obviously new films. And I think that was it. And they wanted something like, I think it was about £12 each.
Really?
And I mean, I picked up the Darth Vader, and I was like, oh yeah, I want you. I think I'll get you. And I was like, where can I put you? It was a big figure. And I thought, no. I walked around the shop with him. I was like, yeah, I want you. And I kept on thinking, where can I put you? You know, when you're doing the brain racking before you buy, and it's like, no. And at the end of it, I went, sorry, mate, you're going back on the shelf, and somebody else is going to get you.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't.
I'm terrible for that. I buy things and I don't think about where I'm going to put them. I just get them, and then I get home and go, "Oh no, what have I done?"
I do it as well, mate. I mean, I think all us collectors do it. I mean, I would love to have gone for the Ghosts. One, I couldn't really afford the £500 price tag.
How much?
Yeah, £500 price tag for the Ghosts. You know, you got the new Hasbro Pulse ship that's been released. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, it's a lot of money, and I'd rather spend that £500 if I've got it. I need it for travel, really. On a vintage, maybe Holy Grail toy instead of, because again, it'd be like how big the Ghost is. It'd be like, yes, I like you, but where will I put you?
Yeah.
I mean, I've got the. Do you remember when I did the Melon Falcon back in the early 2010s or 2008? The first time they did the Legendary series, the real big
one, yeah. Yeah.
I found one on eBay about 6 years ago for £30. Not complete.
30?
Yeah, it wasn't complete.
Blimey.
But I've made it 90% complete. And it lives on my armchair because I've got no space for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to get the Legendary Attack because how big and how good design it is with the cockpit.
Yeah.
But with that, yeah, okay, I know it can go on the floor somewhere. But like we all know, us collectors, even though I've got a bungalow, it's pretty full.
Yeah.
So,
how are you doing for space, Tim? Are you running out of space for stuff?
It always seems like I'm running out of space for stuff. For the longest time I'd been collecting DVDs and Blu-rays, and I stopped just to collect like Star Wars toys, and now that I seem to have trouble finding where to put all that stuff.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? I mean, because you line all your figures up and they all look fine, and then you get another one and you think, okay, well, I'll move all the others just half a centimeter closer to each other, and you shift them all along and shift those all along and make room for another one, and then you think, no, I can't possibly get another one in there. And then a few weeks later you think, oh, maybe I can just get one more in there.
Do you collect any of the original Star Wars figures, Monkeyboy?
I've got a few. I don't want to get all of them because I'm not that interested in getting all of them. I do like them. I think they're really good.
What about the 3.75 figures from the modern line? Have you got any of them?
What, the TVC ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a few. I've got Lando in Skiffguard, Leia Bouche. I've got a couple from the sequel trilogy. I've got Enfys Nest and some what were they called? The troopers that went with Enfys Nest. I can't remember what they're called now for the life of me.
I can't remember.
Terrible memory. Range troopers. That's it.
That's it. Yeah, yeah.
I've got a couple of those because I like them. I've got a couple of Bib Fortuners. Reading Movies actually gifted me one of the Bib Fortuna TVC figures. It's really nice. But I've only got a few of them. And as for the vintage figures, I've just got the ones that mean something to me. I'm not particularly interested in getting all of them because it's going to be so expensive to get all of them in good condition. I wouldn't want to get beaters. I'd want them in decent condition.
Yeah,
and you're talking hundreds and hundreds of pounds. And
for some of them, yeah, you are. I mean, I got into. I mean, I didn't realise how long this TVC line has been going.
Right.
Till I went to America in 2019, and I walked into Walmart quite near the Rosa Inn hotel staying in, and like again, straight to the toilet, don't we? And I spot the Jabba Hutt Han Solo play set, so-called play set. It ain't really a play set. It's just a display piece, really.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, they're doing Star Wars again. Brilliant. And it came with 2 figures. So I bought it for $50 there, and literally there and then. Yeah. And then I find out it's been going on for some years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, well, I always went into Forbidden Planet.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, how did I miss these figures? And I was like, well, one thing I can think of, that I had about a gap of about 2 or 3 years where I wasn't going to London at all. So it was like, well, did I miss them in then, or did Forbidden Planet just not get any? But I didn't know nothing about them till I walked into Walmart that day, and I spotted one, and I was like, oh. And I've been semi-lucky. I've managed to get some from Entertainment, some from other shops, but none of the really old ones.
I like the TVC collection.
It is the design. It's like Boss says. It is the design of the cards that really attracts you. Yeah. I mean, I couldn't give 2 monkeys about the figures. Because it stays on the cards, a bit like you. Like, they're the only things I don't open.
Yeah.
To put on my wall border.
Yeah. I've got one TVC figure that is loose, and that's the Scout Trooper, because I wanted one to go on my speeder bike. I've got a vintage. I've got a couple of vintage speeder bikes. In fact, I think it might be over here. Let me have a look.
I think I've got about 4 vintage speeder bikes.
So this one is. I think this one might be the
Power of the Force one.
I think it is. Yeah, I've got an original one, and then I've got this Power of the Force one.
I think what I can see, it does look like Power of the Force one.
Yeah, and I've got a Power of the Force. This is a Power of the Force.
Both of them figures, both of them vehicles from Power of the Force are brilliant.
Well, it's exactly the same. I mean, the paint,
except for the detail,
is slightly different. But yeah. And this is a Power of the Force Scout Trooper, I believe.
Right.
But for my other speeder bike, I got a TVC Scout Trooper, and he poses really well. But I do like the but I've got several of the Black Series speeder bikes as well.
Well, I'm just sitting right by one of my cabinets. That's 3D printed.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, a mate of mine done it. It's quite hard to work out where my camera is sometimes.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's confusing, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not fully painted yet. At some point, I might finish him. But, it looks pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, cool. What do you think about the TVC and the versus the Kenner originals, Tim? Are you do you have any thoughts about the 2 different ones?
I like how the TVC has more details on them. It's more articulated, but it seems with the more details and articulation, as much as I like them, they're a little bit harder to pose and to set up. You're going to just lay them loose.
Yeah. I think I've probably got about a dozen or so Kenner originals. I've got the only one that I think the Tatooine Luke is one that I don't have. I used to have as a child, but I don't have anymore. I wouldn't mind that one.
Well, the He-Man version.
No. I've got that one. I've got the Power of the Force one. The original one I wouldn't mind having, because I had that as a child. But all the other vintage Kenner ones that I've got are ones that I remember having as a child. So I've got all the main ones like Vader, Chewie. I'm not sure if I've got a C-3PO. I can't remember. I think perhaps I've only got the Power of the Force one.
Right.
I've got more Power of the Force figures than I have Kenner originals. Sadly.
Carded or loose?
Carded, yeah.
Yeah, they're so easy to pick up on carded for.
Yeah, they're cheap as well.
Pennies, really.
Yeah.
Especially if you go to America, they're even more cheaper.
Are they?
Yeah. I think the cheapest I bought in America on a carded Power of the Force figure must have been $5.
Wow.
And I think the dearest I paid for a carded Power of the Force figure out there was $20, because it was the slave Leia, and I thought, I'll have you.
Yeah.
Because I looked online and I knew how much it was in one of my shops near me, and I was like, nah, I've got it in my hand there and then. I thought, nah, if this is a good price, it beats what it would cost me back in the UK, and I thought, yeah, fine.
Yeah.
But I did once, and I should never say never, but the most expensive figure I bought on the Black Series is the Slave Leia.
What, in the 16?
Yeah. Because I wanted her. I've got a thing about Slave Leia for some reason. I think maybe it's the age we was when it got released.
Yeah.
And I thought,
it's a terrible figure, though, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
The 6-inch one isn't that great.
No, it is terrible. I still can't believe I paid $75. I think when it included tax, I think it came to $78 or $79. It had already been open. It was still in its box. I filmed it, done the review, and everything, and it went straight back in its box. It's on display, but I got to admit, afterwards, did I have regrets of paying that amount of money when I could have, for $30 in the same shop, got a He-Man featured carry case?
Oh. Okay.
But at that time, I wasn't collecting He-Man.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I spent a lot of money on my Slave Leia. I've got a feeling I spent about 80 or 90 quid for my Slave Leia, and that
I was checking.
That was open as well.
Yeah, I was checking online. Was that Tim?
You got the Black Series one, Monkeyboy's toys.
Yeah, and it is a terrible figure. The face sculpt is awful. The knees look terrible. It's not a good figure at all. But
no, it's not.
But I just had the fear of missing out, and I just wanted it in the collection because I like Slave Leia, and I thought, it's really going to annoy me if I don't have that. So I spent the money and got it. But it's not the most expensive Black Series figure I've bought, though. I think it's the second most expensive one that I've bought.
Apparently, at one point it went down to like £10 or £15. No one was interested.
Oh my God! Really? Oh.
And then, us collectors started, we want, and obviously it's just gone up and up in price. I mean, it is. Bear in one moment. It actually is quite near me. I will actually get hold of it and I'll show you.
Well, I remember I didn't buy the Cara Dune figure when it was first released. I wasn't too fussed about it. And then, of course, Gina Carano got fired from The Mandalorian, and all the figure prices went up. So I ended up paying a lot of money for a Cara Dune figure. Look at that! How awful is it? I mean,
I know.
In a way, it's good. I mean, I'm glad I've got one, but it's just a real shame. And because they're not going to reissue it. That's the best we're going to get, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, what we need is some customs people. I mean, the back's a bit more better than what you see with some of the carded stuff, but the figure, I mean, look at that face.
Yeah, she does look like a smacked ass, doesn't she?
And that's where she's staying. But I would love to.
Is that the Stan Solo one?
Yeah, I recommend the Stan Solo custom that's done like a vintage Kenner figure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice, that is.
Yeah, I've got one as well.
Oh, have you? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I've chopped my head off again. I think I've moved.
Jason, haven't you got one of the 12-inch doll layers as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've also got a bit of a naughty one behind me as well.
How is it naughty?
Let's say it's 3D printed, and you had a choice that you could have it basically naked, and or you could have the bra on, but I've glued the bra on, and I've glued the underneath on as well, so it's it looks how she would have looked in the film, but it can be.
So the naked one came with the bikini thing, did it?
Yeah, it was all 3D printed, but all loose.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, cool. Cool.
That's what I mean. I've got a bit of a thing about
that. Carrie Fisher had a model of Slave Leia in her house, and it had removable underwear.
Yeah, that's correct. I remember watching that episode.
Yeah. Yeah, quality.
Yeah.
Well, Tim's seen my big cutout. I've got a life-size one of those cardboard standy things.
Oh yeah.
I've got a life-size Leia in the gold bikini. So she stands at the moment she's in my utility room.
Utility
I've had her
room
since I was about 15. It's a room with like a washing machine and a dryer in.
Yeah.
Because my kitchen isn't big enough to have a washing machine or a dryer inside. Because it's only a small kitchen. Yeah, so I've got an extension on my house with a downstairs toilet and a utility room. So yeah.
So have either you managed to get hold of it? You Monkeyboy probably won't be buying it, but you managed to get hold of the retro new the 6-pack that came out from the Chrome version of R2D2 and that.
Is that the one you've got, Tim?
Yeah, I've got that one. I still need to open it. I want to open it.
That's the one you showed last week, I think. Didn't you?
Yeah, I want to open that one and the other first 6 figures at the same time, but I'm thinking about just showing them side by side next to their originals.
Yeah, I've done that, but I haven't got that. I haven't got either of them. I'm still waiting for my order to come, and I got a really doubtful feeling that it was meant to get released on the 1st of July from Hasbro Pulse, and nothing came out. having taken my money out. Then I went and signed in, and it decided I had to check about the 10th of July. I thought, well, what's going on? Why are these figures? And I kept hearing other people saying, oh, it's not now until 28th of August. And I'm thinking, no, I pre-ordered mine when it was for the 1st or 2nd July. So I went on, it's now meant to be the 28th of August. But I've got this sneaky feeling it's going to come to the 20th of August, and I got a feeling they're just going to cancel the order.
Well, keep your fingers crossed. You never know. I've been waiting for a Mode 2 Origins leech for over a year now.
I mean, I did it because when I was in Thailand at the time, I thought they're going to take the money out there and then. So, you know, when it gets released, you haven't got to worry about the money. It's gone. You know, but it doesn't work that way.
Right. You just paid the deposit?
No, you don't pay nothing.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So it's a little bit annoying. Because every time it comes near the date, you've got to leave that money in.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I paid the deposit for my leech, but there's no sign of it. I've emailed the company several times, and they keep telling me that they're still trying to chase it up. But for some reason, leech and pighead, they're just not coming into the country. I don't know why. I don't know what the delay has been. I don't know what the problem is. But leech was the one out of that whole wave. Was the only one that I was really, really looking forward to. The others like King Randor and Mantena and was it Clawful? I can't remember who was in the wave now, but all the rest of the wave came, and I've got those. I had those months ago. I had those last year, in fact. And I'm still waiting for leech, and it's doing my head in because I really want that figure.
Yeah, basically when you've ordered it and you're waiting and waiting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of the reasons why I don't do many pre-orders, because I don't like this waiting game. Because I'd rather buy it when it's in stock. But I know with Stan Sado, it does actually help him to pay. And the thing is, at least with Stan Sado, you do know you're going to get the blooming figure.
Yeah.
He's not like that other. You know, we won't give that person any space. You know, I mean, he's just. I mean, like Tim knows. I don't know if you're on his page as well, Monkeyboy. But he just had his original factory just contacted him, or he contacted them, and they found a load of his old stock still there. And basically, it's all getting shipped to his new factory, and then getting shipped to him and his other seller in America. And so we're getting some other figures that we all thought would be long gone. So sadly, all the steel figure cases that they designed all been destroyed.
Yeah, the molds have been destroyed.
Oh,
they're not there. But I don't think that they're set. I don't think that they're putting them up on John's Etsy page at all. I think
no, I think it's going to his actual internet site.
Well, John just has an Etsy page, and I don't think he's selling them. I think you had to be in the group right when they were posting.
Well, I've already reached out to, like he said, any long-time buyers reach out to Chris or John. Obviously, it depends what part of the country you're in, or Wild. And so basically, I've already paid my stuff. So I'm basically getting an M3 droid and a technician when they get into the country. I mean, I don't expect them to turn up in the next week or so. I mean, we're probably looking at maybe 6 to 2 months, maybe quicker. But like we all know, factories from China can take a while, even that when it's already made. But like we all know, when things come from standard salary, it's gonna turn up.
Yeah,
and that's one thing I like about Chris and John. I haven't bought nothing off, but I have bought off a seller off on eBay. What he also, Chris and John knows about physical. I think he buys a lot of figures off them. I think it's like an authorized seller for John and Chris on eBay. What's his name?
Foxfire Sales.
Yes, that's the guy. Yeah, I managed to get my Yak face off him and Han Solo Stormtrooper when I was in the States. Again, ordered, got delivered to my hotel within about 2 days.
Wow.
Boxed a lot. I mean, just amazing.
Okay.
Cool.
So,
I'm trying to think what pre-orders I've got at the moment. I've got Snake Mountain pre-ordered.
Yep.
And the Talon Fighter.
Nice.
I think that's it. I think that's the only pre-orders apart from Leech. That's the only. All my pre-orders are Motu.
What about you, Tim?
I've got the movie accurate custom Greedo figure pre-ordered from Stan Solo. So I think that's gonna be the next one coming from him, and then
pretty soon.
And then I pre-ordered Dagobah training Luke from Stan Solo and removable mask helmet Darth Vader from Stan Solo. But I haven't pre-ordered the Tanaka sisters yet. I want to pre-order those two.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
And
then they'll sell pretty well because that's going to be the first time they've been available ever, isn't it?
Yes.
And I've got a bunch of custom Cantina figures on pre-ordered from the next 17, and then I've got I think a Force Ghost Obi-Wan and a Jabba's Palace hologram Jedi Luke on pre-order from the next 17.
I gotta admit, I've looked at the next 17 figures, and they look just as good what I was seeing from Stan Solo, but they just don't interest me. I mean, I've looked at every single one, and it's like, no, I don't want. No, I'm not interested in that one. I'm not interested in that one. I mean, but for some reason, all the figures that Chris has done, I've been like, yeah, I'll have that, I'll have that. So.
Yeah, well, when it came to Efont Mon, the next 17 one, I think was more expensive than getting this one that Hasbro made, but this one's really hard to get to stand up.
Yeah, I've heard.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's got the tail, and the feet make it hard for him to stand up, and then his mouth opens.
He looks really solid, though.
You can move his arms, and you can move him at the waist a little bit, but it's really hard to move him.
Yeah.
Huh. It's a cool figure, though. I didn't know the mouth was articulated. I didn't realize that.
That's good.
Yeah, on this one it moves. I don't think the next 17 one moves it. And that one's more of a flat face than compared to.
Do you know what that figure reminds me of?
What?
Dark Crystal.
Oh, okay. The Dark Crystal.
Do you remember the Dark Crystal?
Yeah, that was the Jim Henson one, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it had Gary Kurtz, the producer of Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back, was a producer on there.
Did you ever watch the TV series I did about a couple of years ago?
No, I never saw that. It was streaming.
Yeah, it was on Netflix, and I do have Netflix, but I just couldn't get into it. I don't know if it's because it's my age now, and some things you just can't get into, and some things you can. But I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
It looked as good as the film,
Really?
but it was all, like it was done exactly the same way like the film, I believe. But I just couldn't get into it. I think I watched about one episode, and it was like, nah, can't be bothered. Watch
Yeah.
something else.
Oh.
Mm.
No, I remember seeing the film years and years ago, but I wasn't a huge fan of it. I mean, it was okay.
Mm.
It was okay. I'd rather watch that than Labyrinth. I can't stand Labyrinth.
You don't like Labyrinth?
No, I don't like. I mean, I don't. I never did like David Bowie.
Oh,
What's wrong with David Bowie and
Nothing
Labyrinth?
wrong with him, but I just never. I never liked him. I just,
Hmm.
for some reason, never got me. I always found him a bit. Ugh. And I didn't like the creatures in Labyrinth. Some of them were I found just a bit wrong looking. I never really got into that. It was mainly David Bowie that put me off. Um,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
too bad.
yeah. I mean, I can appreciate what a huge influence he was on a lot of people, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not taking anything away from the guy, but it was never my cup of tea. I
Yeah.
just didn't like it. Simple as that, really. Yeah.
And
I'll try
we've got a few more people in the chat. Sorry to interrupt.
Sure.
Delvian Seek is saying hi, and
Hey, Delvian.
Layer.
All right.
Greetings, everyone. And then
Hello.
last call with Troy Bocelli. I'm late to the game. That TVC Efont figure, is that new to you, or you had it since original release? And I told him I think it's Legacy Collection one that I bought off eBay. And then Tree Theodore saying, hi, gentlemen.
Hello.
Hi, Troy.
And then last call with Troy Bocelli said, yeah, I did the same thing. Netter is awesome about the hunt and find is awesome about hunt and finds for me.
Yeah, there is something quite good about going out and seeing stuff in the wild.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would say 95% of the stuff I've bought in the last 2 years has been online. It's very, very rare that I go into a toy shop and I see something. I went to Smith's Toys a couple of weeks ago and bought a Batman Hush figure. I already had one, but I wanted a second one to open. And they happened to have it in there. But they had so little in there. Honestly, I think they made maybe 2 or 3 Black Series figures. That's all they had.
Yeah, because they're getting rid of them all, aren't they? And the He-Man figures.
Yeah, they've stopped doing He-Man.
Yeah, for some reason they just don't want them. Don't know why.
No, I mean, I remember going in and buying a Motu Origins figure maybe about a couple of years ago, and then when I went back to the store, they were nowhere to be seen, and I said, "Where's all the Motu? Where's all the Motu gone?" And they said, "Oh, we don't sell that anymore. We've stopped selling it."
Yeah.
I'm just going to go and get a drink refill. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
So, what films you watched lately, then, Tim?
I haven't really seen any new films at all lately. I'm waiting for Dune 2 to come out, but I heard that that's been pushed.
Oh, right.
To 2024, I think.
Right. The Rock got killed, didn't he? So he won't be back in it. The Rock was in the original one, wasn't he?
You mean Jason Momoa, who played Duncan Idaho?
Was it him, not The Rock then? I thought it was The Rock was starred in it.
It was Jason Momoa and then what's his name? Who played the Duke? I can't remember his name. Reading Movies is saying in the chat, finding things out in the wild is a good buzz. Do you all find it harder these days to find...
Yeah.
Do you all find it harder these days to find out in the wild, or
definitely.
what do you find? What do you all find harder these days to find out in the wild?
It's so difficult finding stuff now in the wild.
Yeah, best if you go in charity shops or. I mean, I'm lucky. I've got round me, and if I want to go down to the coast, there's probably 1, 2, 3, 4 retro toy shops in a 30, 40 miles radius, I suppose. So I can go to one of them and pick up vintage. But when you go looking in charity shops and second-hand shops, yeah, you don't find much, if anything at all.
Cool.
Might find a Funko figure.
Yeah, they're everywhere, aren't they? I've got I presume you've heard of in-demand toys.
Yes.
Yeah, I just found out about that.
Yeah, they're quite local to me. I mean, they're not 5 minutes away. I mean, they're about maybe 15 minutes away in the car. They're my, I guess that's my nearest retailer that's got a premises that you can actually go in and have a look at what they've got. Obviously, they've got a website where you can buy stuff, but they've also got a lot of stuff in their store that you can go in and see a lot of vintage stuff.
That's good.
So that's quite good.
Do you know what in demand did make me laugh? Know the 6-pack we were just talking about?
Yeah.
Online and in store. Well, I don't know about in the store, but I know online they're totally all sold out. They haven't got any.
Yeah.
But at London Film Comic Con, in demand's there. Oh, they had about 3 or 4 of them there.
Yeah.
Marked up price of £100 each. It's like, but you saying you haven't got them in stock, but you've got them in stock, but only for the comic conventions.
Yeah, I guess they keep them behind or keep them back.
Yeah, it's
for
a bit
that,
naughty, I think.
Yeah, well, I guess a lot of these companies are doing that.
Oh yeah.
And Troy Bocelli in the chat, he's saying that he's not surprised about Dune 2 being delayed, and Reading Movies said he's watching Oppenheimer this week, looking forward to Dune 2, and he says Rebel Moon he's looking forward to on Netflix.
Right.
Yeah.
And then last call with Troy Bocelli saying FFS with Hasbro's distribution model, it's impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward to Meg 2.
Yeah, I think that'll be all right. I'll probably wait for that to come out on DVD or something, but I saw the trailer for it and it looked it looked ridiculous, but I mean that's what you expect, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a bit like the last Fast and Furious that I just went to see. I mean, I still enjoy the film, but I find at the end of it, it goes to be continued.
Right.
And I'm like, what? What do you mean to be continued? Doesn't say nothing about part 1 or blooming part 2.
I've never seen any of them films.
You haven't?
No, I've never seen any of them. But
I
don't like cars.
All right. They are a bit, if I say a bit far-fetched, that's been an understatement, really. I mean, some of them are well far-fetched what they can do.
How many are there now? Is there like
10
of them? Or?
10 at the moment. 11 next year or the year after, whenever it gets filmed.
Right. No, I've never seen any of them. Is Vin Diesel in all of them?
Yes. Yep.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. The Rock's been in since I think fifth one, I think, or was it the sixth one? I know he came in halfway, I think. Jason Stathm's in it now. I think he's been in it. I think, well, since Tokyo Drift, I think, or did he not actually see him in Tokyo Drift? Don't think he did actually. I can't remember. But yeah, I mean, some of them are really far-fetched.
Yeah, that's right. Reading movies is saying he guesses the internet has killed any chance of finding bargains because everyone knows the value of items is true. It's true. And you know, you're going to charity shops now and you'll see stuff you'll think, oh, I know what that is, and you'll go to buy it and you'll think, actually, they've done their research. They know how much things. Oh, what's this? Ziffit.
Oh yeah, I think it basically gives you the price, and I think you can send it to them. I think I know there's a book ones and the DVD ones like it.
Okay, I hadn't heard of that.
Welcome, Fletcher Williams. I Suck at Games channel.
So do I, mate. So do I. But don't stop me playing them.
Meg 2 looks fun. My wife went to the movies with me to see the first Meg, and she thought it was going to be a serious film. When it was over, I was laughing so hard at her reaction. Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, it's a good fun film. It's not, I mean, it's not sort of highbrow cinema, is it? It's just cheap and cheerful, but it's quite good.
I watched it again in Thailand, in Hatia. I was at my hotel, not doing nothing, and there was 2 English channels on that TV. One was just movies, but you never knew what film was coming on. You didn't see the title, and you don't see the credits.
Oh, okay.
So literally, when the film is finished, next one comes on.
Really?
Yeah. And it'd be all different. I mean, I was out there and I was watching Meg. I was like, just getting into it. Then Nan rings me saying, "Well, I'll be round in about 20 minutes." I'm like, 20 minutes? About another 40 minutes left of this film. Do you mind? So I went for a meal. So,
Cool. It's been a couple of months you've been back now, isn't it?
Yeah, I've been watching some videos out there. I would just love to be back. And it's like, you know, when you do a bit of walking, and I was thinking, sometimes I need sponsors that could sponsor to help you film more, and so you can get more done, like, you know, people do. And so, you know, you get sponsors and you get more filming done, because when you're just using your own money, that's why I said to myself, that £500 for the goes, that's £500 I could put towards my travel. And it's like, I can't do sometimes, because I collect toys or collectibles, or they're not really toys no more, are they? You've got to sometimes get the balance, and sometimes the balance goes one way. And
yeah, I know that every month I say to myself, right, that's it. I don't need anything else. I've got enough for the channel for the next 6 months. I don't need to buy anything else.
Then you see something, you buy it.
Yeah, something always crops up. It's a pain in the neck. I'm trying to save up for other stuff at the moment, and every time I get there, I see something else, and I think, oh, that's another 30 quid here, 50 quid there. It's it can be quite difficult. There's always something around the corner, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, one of my holy grails is the shuttle. And I missed out a £300 one. I mean, I have never spent. I think the most I've ever spent on a toy, it's got to be around 75 to 80 pounds.
Okay.
I've never spent anything more than that, but like we both and Tim when he comes back, we know some of the rare stuff goes for a lot more money.
Yeah.
And there was one on eBay. It was missing the glass, but I already found somebody on eBay that was selling repro glass cockpit for literally, I think it was £300 for the shuttle, and that was the only thing missing. Sadly, I was in Thailand at the time, and I was keeping the money aside just in case I needed it.
Yeah.
And when I came back, it was no longer on my watch list. I couldn't even find it on the sale list either. You know, whether things end or they say they've been sold. So I don't know if the guy decided to just end the listing because I couldn't even find it. So
yeah,
but yeah, I mean, I was looking because I am a big Star Wars fan, and I would love to get the Death Star, both versions. But when I see the price tag on some of them, and I think, wow, you know, it's a lot of money for a toy.
yeah.
I mean, that's what it was. It's not going to be used now as a toy, is it? I mean,
yeah.
I mean, it's a collectible. I mean, again, when I was in America in 2019, I saw all the Dungeons and Dragons statues that this limited company done. Did you ever watch Dungeons and Dragons cartoon back in? They look exactly the same as the cartoon, and I was like, wow! And each one was separate, and it all built into this big diorama, not a big display outfit.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked out the price. It was in game. No, it wasn't in GameStop. I can't remember. Stu's been in the same shop. He was talking about it on his anniversary one. He was talking about when him and his missus went into that shop in Florida Mall. That's where the same place I was in.
Okay, yeah.
And I worked out to get every single one, it would cost me just under $500. I didn't have that sort of money, and I thought, I was bound to come to the UK at some point. Nah, it didn't. And now each one of them separate figures, you're looking at anything from £200 to £500, and they're only about 4 years old.
Yeah.
Oh,
you've answered Tree's question. He's asking what's your holy grail, and you said yours was the shuttle.
Shuttle, Death Stars, and basically play sets, because I never had any play sets when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I got that ugly figure. I love that.
Yeah, that's figure. My holy grail, because Kenner
Mhm.
never made it when I was a kid, and it was one I always wanted as a kid.
Yeah.
Cool.
Apparently,
Stan Solo made my holy grail. Took
I don't know why.
Years.
I mean, when I was playing with the toys back when we when we all was kids, I think we were all around about the same ages, and I just love that figure. And there, what I've been hearing, and the reason why they make a lot of the female figures, because boys wouldn't buy them.
Yeah, but Princess Leia was the one female you would get, though, because she was the one strong female character.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but I also realised when it's like the day I was walking back home, and I was thinking in my head, where now where Stan Solo is filling in gaps. Now, when they originally done the films, and not Hasbro, Kenner, UK version, I can't say the name properly, Palatoy.
Yeah, Palatoy, but that
Thank you.
Yeah, Palatoy was a separate company, though. It was just a British company that Hasbro and Kenner would both license out their stuff.
But they were also the UK versions was a little bit different.
Yeah, that's because they couldn't always do. I guess they couldn't always get the designs from Kenner. I think it had something to do with. It had something to do with Kenner and George Lucas, some sort of agreement they had.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and I think every time they went, I think after they did Star Wars, I think when they did Empire Strikes Back, I think they decided they couldn't go back to the previous film and fill the missing gaps because they had to get the other figures. But I don't know why they didn't from 1985 go back and then fill the missing gaps because there was no more films and it would have made collectors more, more buy them. But obviously they decided not to.
Yeah. See you, Delvian.
Delvian's going night. And as you can see, the other Tim has joined us in the chat. Tim's Talk.
Hello.
All right, Tim.
And then Fletcher Williams.
This is that custom figure that I tried doing.
Oh, yeah.
It never got finished.
Oh.
So you can see the bottom part's original colour.
Yeah.
There is a white version. There is a white version of him. And he's not too bad. Now, because I'm right by one of my cupboards. Do you ever remember this figure? He's not Star Wars.
Isn't that Thunderbirds?
I'm not sure. I don't think he's Thunderbirds, but you're on the same line.
I want to say Thunderbirds or
Captain Scarlet.
Yeah,
maybe it was not Captain Scarlet.
And there's Fireball XL5 was another one.
Think of another. Think of an under the water one.
Stingray.
Correct.
Okay,
Stingray.
Yeah, I think he's one from the Stingray lot.
Oh, okay.
I mean, there is some details at the back if I can get them near the camera.
I've got no chance of reading that without my glasses.
Nor have I, mate. Busy without my glasses. But yeah, I think he's from Stingray.
Let me see.
Stingray. Stingray.
Here, try showing us the back again because I've got you on solo camera. Yeah, I can almost.
It's not focusing.
Yeah, it's still not focusing. It says Matchbox. That I could read.
Oh yeah,
It said Matchbox. That much I could read.
And it probably says Hong Kong afterwards. Yeah, it does.
Well, there's a copyright symbol and a year. I think it's.
Can't make it.
I'm not sure. It says if it's the copyright symbol in 19. Maybe it says 1982. It's just hard to make out the rest of that.
Yeah.
It's crazy that it's Matchbox. I didn't know Matchbox made figures.
No, obviously did. Didn't actually realise that old. Do that face. It's a face you can marry. Not. But yeah. I mean, I've got Cap and Scarlet figures. I've got Black Hole figures. I've only got about 3 or 4 Buck Rogers figures. But yeah, they're all in that top one up there.
Yeah.
They are. God, I look too big on this. That's better. You see my original poster over there as well, at episode 1.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. Or I could do this. Well, that doesn't seem to do anything. Screen layout. Picture-in-picture, cinema. Oh.
Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah.
I'd rather be sitting on my settee, but there's only one place I can actually charge my phone up. So I bought some nice fancy lights for my display cupboard in Thailand.
Mm-hmm.
The LEDs strips, they work fine. My control is a piece of,
really?
Yeah, could not get them working at all.
Oh. If you had to use an adapter, if you got them in Thailand, they would have been a 2-pin plug.
No, it was just a USB port.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah. So you haven't got to worry about any plugs. It's what most things are doing now. So you haven't got to worry about. But are they around here? No, I don't know where they're. I think I might have put them somewhere now. So they cost me a bit of money actually in Thai baht. I mean, there's about 700 Thai baht each, what equals to about 15 or 27 for 1,000. Yeah, so about £20 for a packet. I mean, it was long, but the blooming controls are so cheap. It doesn't do anything. They're like literally. I mean, I keep trying to go and find. I might need to find new batteries to see if that's the problem. But the whole thing feels so cheap. I mean, cheap as cheap. It's like a penny. So I don't know if this shop where I bought them, it was called. What was the shop called? Mr. T. And it had everything. Electronics, toys. Big one of them like general stores. And I saw them. I thought, oh, yeah, they'll do the trick. I just can't get them to work properly, sadly.
Are they ones that you just stick on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, long strips around. So yeah, I mean, I've got some fancy lights that just don't really work, but they do work. They just flash.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the only. So I can't turn them white or any other color. All they do is just do multicolor and keep flashing and do blah 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 blah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so bit of a waste of about £1,400, about 1,400 Thai baht.
Yeah.
But well, it's life, ain't it?
Yeah, you win some, you lose some.
Yeah. I mean, what was I watching today? Oh, I finished watching Secret Invasion.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Marvel.
No, don't know. That one's missed me. Don't know.
It's a Disney TV series they've done. They're doing lots of TV series for Marvel, like they're doing with Star Wars. And I waited till it finally finished. And I watched the first episode, and I was like, yeah, not bad, but I decided to wait till it finished.
So we got a question from Tree Theodore. What's the inspiration behind your YouTube channels?
Well, I think what started me off with doing toy channels or my toy toy channels and toy collecting was probably about 4 years ago. I just chanced upon retro blasting, and I started watching that from some of the content that they had. It was really it was really useful to me at the time. It was interesting, and it was something that I felt I had some connection to. And then it was watching channels like All Things 80s as well that really sort of made me think, do you know what, maybe I could do something like this.
You okay? Are you okay, Jason?
Yeah, I find that there's about 45% of battery, so I can get off on the floor and get a bit more comfy. So yeah, I mean, my channel, apart from the bit of wobbly of the camera, bear with me for one moment. Let's sort this out. Right. Will you go there? Will you behave yourself? I told you, behave yourself, camera, or I'll smack you. Right, there we are. Yeah, I mean, my intuition on my YouTube channel was, at the beginning, it was for travel, but like we all know, travel costs money, and when you're on limited funds and you collect toys, you can't do everything. And pardon me, although cat's coming. So that was then 2020 happened. Then I started finding channels like you, Monkeyboy, or Retro Blast. But it was all because I was watching somebody else's channel, a Waste of Space channel, who I couldn't stand because his editing was so bad. I used to watch his channel, and I was like, can't you do better editing? And I won't give his name, but you might know the bloke. He liked to cause a lot of stink. But with him, I found Retro Blast. So then I obviously went to Retro Blast and started watching his channel, and that was like, yeah, right, see you later, mate. And I just carried on watching Retro Blast. And then obviously Analog Toys, All Things 80s, and so on. And I mean, I finally had met Dean. All right, Luke.
We're doing good, man. Hope you're doing all right, buddy.
So yeah, I mean, and I started watching, and I thought, and I was talking to my brother back in 2020. I said to him, I can't do any filming. I said, I can't go around, I can't travel, I can't, because obviously we were in lockdown. He said, why don't you do your collections? You have got such a big collection of toys. Why don't you do that? I was like, but my channel's not about vintage toys. It's not in the description. And he said, does it really matter? And I was like, yeah, it does. And then I thought about it a bit longer, and I thought, not really. It really is what you like. And at the end of it, it was like, nah, sod it. I will start doing my toys. You know, I know that other people long before me have showed the same toys off, but it was my version. And
yeah.
And then obviously I watch certain channels. I won't mention no names. One's already on his channel. Yes, you. And obviously Luke and Dean kept showing their mask vehicles off. And I was like, didn't even see them. I think that's when I must have stopped getting toys, or they was never in my area. I was like, yeah, they do look good. But I'm not going to get them. No, I'm not. No. Then obviously I went into Welling. It's about, I think Welling from here is about 10 miles away. Probably might be less. It's a vintage toys shop, and they had 4 masked vehicles in there for quite cheap. And well, that started me off, didn't it? It's all because of you, Fee.
Jason's laughing at you. Jason's laughing at you, Jason.
That's good.
Sorry, Luke is laughing at you, Jason.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah. Don't worry, Luke. I'll get you addicted to something else. I'll get my comeback.
Luke and Shabby got me into collecting Playmobil again. So we're all just bad influences on each other, aren't we?
Yeah, we're collectors, aren't we? I mean, I saw the A-Team fan up in Forbidden Planet. No, Disney store up London. I can't remember what price it was when it first came out. I have seen it again since, but that was in Thailand. And I was like, yeah, it looks great. But I was like, I just couldn't pull the price because I just thought, well, yeah, I do really like you, but where do I put you? And then obviously later on, Playmobil does Night Raid, it does Ghostbusters, and so on. I mean, but I don't really do the card versions. I mean, okay, I have now, but yeah, I mean,
yeah, I went full in on the old Playmobil, I must say. I mean, I liked Playmobil as a kid, but as an adult, there wasn't really much that appealed to me. And then I saw Luke's video about the DeLorean and the A-Team van, and I just thought, oh, I need to have them. I've got to have them.
Have you seen? It's not a classic TV series, but have you seen the Beetle and the camper van that Playmobil's done?
Yeah.
I saw it in Thailand, and they look brilliant. I saw not Night Ride. I saw Back to the Future as well, out in Night Ride, out in Thailand.
Yeah.
I mean, they were the first times I actually saw them one part from the A-Team vehicle in real, and to go into a Toys R Us was even better.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I like the I like the camper van. I wasn't really I never really liked the Beetle, so that didn't appeal to me. But the camper van looked good. But it's just not something I just don't have the space. I don't know where I'm going to put all the stuff that I have got, all the Playmobil that I have got. I really don't
that's
know
the
what
same as me. I mean, I don't like things in boxes, and I don't mean boxes on display. I mean, I don't like things put away in boxes because I like things on show, and I think, you spend this money, and then because you haven't got a space for it, you put it away. And then it's like, I mean, I can see me at some point with anything that I've not got displayed, I'll probably end up chucking on eBay to make some money again for either travel or more Star Wars or black hole figures,
Yeah.
But like we all know, I mean, it's like I started going down the route for not the A-Team. And the A-Team I went down. I see a brick wall now. I went down to the Action Force line, and I definitely can't get them all, and I don't want them all. But again, I think there's about 2 more vehicles I want from the Action Force line. But the rest of them, I'm just going to have to say, no, can't, haven't got space for them. I mean, I want the SAS missile tank sort of type of thing. Does look really cool because I've actually got the missiles because I found it in this bag of bits And I was like, so I'm keeping them. I mean, I could probably earn 20 or 30 pounds selling these 2 bits.
Yeah.
But I'm keeping them just in case I find one going cheap that hasn't got these bits on. Because I know me, I'll sell the buggers, and then I find them one without any. I haven't seen
Lewis is saying that James Bond Aston Martin DB5 Goldfinger edition looks pretty cool. Yeah, it does.
The thing is, Playmobil is actually, you can still find that in charity shops. You can. Not a lot of it, because it's still, like you just said, it's not, to some reason, even though it's been out for 20, 30, 40 years, people just don't collect them. I mean, and sometimes you can find the fire engines or these the boats, and going for like £2 or £3. But
yeah,
people are just not interested. I mean, I'm the same. I do leave them. I mean, it was. But I did see in a charity shop, and I slap my wrist every time I say it. So as I'm talking about, I'll slap my hand now. Do you know, because you just got Ghostbusters Playmobil vehicles?
Just say bye to Lewis. See you, Lewis.
See you later, Lewis.
Movies.
I saw in a charity shop for £2 or £3. It's a bit like a forklift with a Ghostbuster in it.
Don't know what that is.
It was from Playmobil, and it was on the Ghostbusters line. It's sort of like a forklift sort of type of vehicle with some weapons or something. And I saw it in a charity shop.
Ghostbusters?
Yeah. No, like that shopping cart, the hot dog stand you got.
Yeah.
It was something, not like that, but it was on another line. How
do you know it was Ghostbusters?
It was the Ghostbuster in it, and it had all the stickers of the Ghostbusters on it. It was.
That's bizarre. I don't know what that is.
It was a little. It was like probably about that long, and probably about that wide.
I'll have to look into that. I don't know. I'm not familiar.
It was a weird thing. It's one of these things, like Kennel. Actually, never saw in the films. Let's make this. Let's chuck Ghostbusters on it. Chuck a Ghostbusters figure into it, and it will sell, sort of thing.
That's weird. I thought I had all the Ghostbusters stuff, so I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it was a weird old thing. But I left it, and then I next went into the charity shop. Somebody had nicked the figure.
Oh.
So I left it. Then I went in again, and it was gone. So,
yeah, you can't really sleep on things that in a charity shop, because you'll come back and they're gone. I think it was earlier on in the year. I saw a big bucket of Lego in there, and I didn't really, at the time, I wasn't really focused on that, and I just thought, oh, big bucket of Lego, and I don't know how much it was, and I just left it. And then I remember sitting at home the following day and thinking, why didn't I look at how much that was? Because if that was a reasonable price, I could have bought that. It was a massive, great big bin full of loose Lego bricks. Yeah, and I wish I'd bought that now, but yeah, things do get snapped up, especially vintage stuff. I mean, people go around the charity shops looking to buy stuff to flip, don't they?
I hold my hand up, saying, "Yeah, I'm one of them."
Okay.
But sometimes it's how you make extra money, and it's how I can, buy things I want sometimes.
Yeah.
Like it's stuff behind me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like this Saturday just gone. I was in Ashford with my little brother, and we saw in a charity shop loads of Lego, loads of loose Lego figures. Obviously, they are loose, and there was a book. Well, me and my brother, he bought 2 of the Ghostbusters Lego figures that was there. It was the only 2. I bought the Rebel Trooper Lego figure and a Pilot Rebel, and it was like 5 each, so not bad prices. And we saw they had some Lego bags, and they wasn't like all bad prices. But next time we went back up there, like half an hour later, 2 of the feed bags was long gone. And the book that I was humming and hawing about buying, because it's only been out for about 4 months, was also gone. And I was like, and you could also see some of the Lego figures that had also gone.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have got to, sometimes you do have to make your mind up there and then, because it's like they're saying about the boot fairs. If you see something at a boot fair, you buy it. Don't walk around.
Do you know Baz? Dark Lycan?
No.
Oh, because he's got a YouTube channel, and some of the stuff he gets is amazing. I don't know what the charity shops around his way are playing at, but he seems to pick things up for just a couple of quid, and you're like, what on earth? If that was in my charity shop, that'd be about a tenner. I don't know what's going on where he lives, but he gets some real bargains, and he's always going to car boot sales and coming back with like loads of stuff.
Yeah, said I can't say the name of the guy. He just said what
Xantara.
That's a lady, Jason.
All right, lady. Sorry, madam. I need my glasses on.
Apparently, what was being described is the Playmobil Spengler cage car.
Okay, thanks, Antara. I'll have to have a look at that. No, that's another thing I've got to buy now. Thank you.
I think she mentioned what Jason was mentioning was
she was
Jan Spengler or
cage car. I'm a big fan of Xantara because she put me on to the film called Night of the Creeps, which I hadn't seen before.
You've never seen it?
I'd never seen Night of the Creeps, no, and she recommended that I check it out.
It to you as well, Monkeyboy.
We talked about. I think we talked about it last week.
Yeah, it's an 80s film.
Yeah,
it's an 80s horror film. It's really funny.
Yeah, I think I've only seen it once or twice, and it's been many years since I've seen it. So
it's very enjoyable. I mean, it's terrible, but it's really enjoyable. I really enjoyed watching that. That was good.
Now, I got a feeling you may have not watched this one. I don't know about you, Tim. It was 1 and 2 was done. I'm going to try and say the name properly. Mutant. And then they did a second one called Mutant 2. Where basically, I've only ever found them on video. I don't believe that are available on DVD. But basically, they're a bit like zombie disasters, but they're not zombies. It's a bit like some cannibals get spilt, if I remember rightly, what turns the population into mutants are basically zombies, really, that kills any normal human people. And both them films are actually quite good. I would love to find them on DVD. But
I think one of them had a cheap DVD release, and it had one Blu-ray release in the States.
All right.
Mutant with the what's his name? Guy's Hauser or something like that.
Okay, don't know.
It came out in 1984.
Yeah.
When Mutant came out. I don't remember there being a sequel to it.
Yeah, there is a number 2. I think it came out probably a year later. I've actually got both on videos.
But Mutant stars Wings Hauser, Bo Hopkins, John Bud Cardos, Mark Rosman, Jodie Medford, and Lee Montgomery. It was released to theaters as Night Shadows.
Right. Maybe I need to also put that name in, because sometimes films get released on DVD and Blu-ray under different names.
But there was also Roger Corman's Mutant, which is better known as Forbidden World.
Oh, yes. Yeah. But it's a good, actually, little horror film. I don't think you'll probably never see it on Netflix or a streaming service, I think. I mean, that's why I keep my rental videos, because most of these films I've rarely seen released on like home video, DVD or Blu-ray. At some point, these films are going to be lost.
Yeah,
Mutant had a bunch of cheap DVD releases here in the States. I think all as Mutant, even though it got released as Night Shadows in theaters.
Was there anybody chance? Was it 21st Century?
I don't know. But Nightmare at Noon from 1988 is listed on IMDb as having a similar plot and similar characters as Mutant, and then part of the music from Seed People from 1992 says original score to Night Shadows was partially reused in Seed People.
But it's like, I can't think of the film, and they actually reused a lot of the scenes from Battlestar Galactica.
Space Mutiny, I think, was the movie.
Yeah, it's one of the films I've kept because they've used the Battlestar Galactica stuff. You know, it's always been what I call the extra Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, Xantara's just saying that she hopes I find the poster. There was she let me know of a really good Shout Factory poster for Night of the Creeps. It's absolutely amazing. It's such a good poster, but I wasn't able to find it in the UK for a sensible price. I could have bought it from the States, but I wasn't going to pay 60 quid or something for a poster to be shipped from the States.
How much was the poster on its own without any post?
About 60 quid, I think. I can't remember. It was a while ago.
Right.
But it's a really good image. But I mean, there are so many different covers for Night of the Creeps. There's one with a skeleton hand opening pressing the door. I think reaching through to press the doorbells. I really can't remember. And there's one with the characters standing outside the frat house or the sorority house, whatever it was. But there's another one that's got sort of all the cast. It's just a really colourful, really nice poster. It looks fantastic, and I'd love to get that someday. So yeah, I'll keep my eye open. But
do you see? I was a big horror fan. I suppose I still am. Do you remember The Gates? They were just called The Gate or Gate.
The Gate, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think was there 2 of them done?
Don't
or
know.
3?
I don't know.
They
I
weren't
know
bad little films
the
as
Gate
well.
was on YouTube.
Yeah, I think there was the
Last
Gate and the
year, the
Gate
whole
2.
yeah. Well, they had the whole movie on YouTube last year, but it's been taken down since. So
Yeah,
that was pretty good.
that's why it's not on my list no more. Yeah, I mean, it's good. I mean, a lot of the 80s horror films were budget jobs, but they were good films.
Yep.
I mean,
some of them were, yeah.
I'm trying to think of the name of another film. Is it Helltown? No, it's not Helltown. That's something else. Basically, the plot line is there's this town. It's basically a cowboy town, but all the people is being murdered by the person who the daughter got assaulted by bikers, and these back in sort of like I think it was like the 40s or 50s, and it comes obviously to the 80s where this car goes rolling in and basically gets trapped there. I'm trying to think of the name of the film. It's Hell something, but I'm pretty certain it's not Helltown. Is it Hellgate?
Don't know. It's
That's a good little horror film as well. That's an easy one. Well, actually, it's not really.
I couldn't answer that question.
I can't be honest. Well, I can be honest, but I like too many films. I mean,
yeah.
I think if somebody said to me, what is your best ever film you really ever love, and you can go back, watch it and watch it and watch it again, I can't answer, because even now I can't go back and watch Empire Strikes Back. I can watch it, but not complete. I have to have breaks now, because I know it so well.
Right.
It's a film I love, but
I couldn't pick one. In fact, I would struggle to pick 3 from each genre. I mean, you could ask me what my favorite horror movie was, and I wouldn't be able to do it. I'd have to narrow it down to maybe 3 or 5. The same with action films. The same with thrillers. I don't think I could pick just one.
Did you ever see Stand By Me?
Yeah.
Again, I haven't seen it for quite some years, so I can't remember much of it. But what I do remember, it was a cracking good film.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. There are so many good films. I mean, it would be impossible to pick one. I couldn't do it. I mean, I know which films I've watched the most. Hellgate, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I know which films I've watched a lot of times. You know, there are certain films I've definitely seen, you know, maybe 10 times. But there are other films that I haven't seen as much that I possibly like more. So it's I couldn't really answer that. I mean, if I was to try and pick my favorite horror film, I would struggle, because part of me wants to say Nightmare on Elm Street 2, because that's the first horror film I ever saw.
Right.
So that's got a really big place in my heart, because it was the first horror movie.
Number 3, my choice.
Okay. But then I would also say The Witch, that came out in 2009. I can't remember. The film called The Witch. That's not that many years old. That's a really good horror film. Really like that. That's one of the best horror films I've ever seen. Very creepy. So that would also rate up there, but I just couldn't pick. It's an impossible task. I mean, obviously, The Empire Strikes Back, I really love. But then I saw Jedi at the cinema, and that made a really big impression on me. So
yeah,
I don't think I can answer that question.
no. I mean, there's just so many films out there that I like. I mean, and even though I'm a big Star Wars fan, I can't honestly say that 100%. Yeah, much as I love Empire and Return and Star Wars, they're my top 3 films. I couldn't really be honest because I can't really watch them much now. Not in one whole go. I've got to always have breaks now because, like you've probably seen it so many times. You know the storyline.
Yeah, I watched them all. I watched the trilogy again. I think it was at the beginning of the year. I sat down and watched them all again. And unfortunately, because George Lucas did the remastered versions, I've now got the remastered ones, which I don't. Some of the stuff is okay, but like for example, the Sarlacc pit, when now it's got that stupid mouth coming out that looks like something out of Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah, yeah.
I really don't like that at all. I think the Sarlacc was much more intimidating when it was just a hole in the ground with some tentacles. When you've got that big mouth coming out, snapping about, it looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
So so even my favourite films have now been tampered with to the state where it's just not as good anymore. So yeah, but I do think about that sometimes. I think about what are my favourite films, but I always have to break it up into different genres. Comedy films or dramas or whatever it might be. I mean, I really like Goodfellas. I think that's a brilliant film.
Goodfellas. Is that the?
It's the gangster movie with Robert De Niro. And
Sean Connery.
No, you're thinking of The Untouchables.
Oh, am I? Oh, that's good. That's a cracking good film.
Yeah, good film. Good film.
I got a feeling I might not have seen Goodfellas.
Oh, Goodfellas is brilliant. You need to watch it. Another film that I really, really like that really surprised me, and I'd avoided it for years because of the title. The title just put me off, and I didn't want to watch it. But it's a film called Glengarry Glen Ross.
Oh, right.
It's absolutely brilliant. Fantastic film about real estate salesman. And it's got Alec Baldwin in, Al Pacino, Kevin Spacey, Ed, what's his name? Ed Harris. Really, really good film. Very enjoyable. Great dialogue. It's fantastically written. It's based on a play by David Mamet, I think, or Mamet, however you pronounce it. It was really good, but I'd avoided it for years because the title just didn't interest me. I thought Glengarry Glen Ross, that sounds crap. But I watched it and it was absolutely amazing. So, it just sort of goes to show you. I mean, you can't judge a book by its cover, and you can't always judge a film. You can't always judge a film by its title. So yeah.
What about you, Tim?
Well, let's see. My favorite movie of all time, I'm gonna have to say the original Star Wars. Even though I'd never seen it in theater, it was just one of those movies that got shut. That was it always seemed to come on when I was really young. It was something we all watched in our household. It was just so popular on cable. So, why do you like it? Well, we had the toys in my house, and then it was just so popular. Just something about it I always liked. I don't know why. It's just the toys I loved. Just so much about it. There was so much about it that I would just fall in love with, and it was just so much fun. It was I liked it just because just because the fun factor, the toys, and just the film itself.
Yeah.
I remember I got my first Star Wars figures before I'd even seen Star Wars. So
yeah, I think my brothers had probably seen it before me, so they had the toys in the house before I'd seen the whole movie on the movie channel.
Yeah.
Right. Now, I know my mum took me to see Empire Strikes Back at the cinema. And like Monkeyboy knows, Star Wars didn't actually come on TV till about 82 or 83. But it was available on video, so I may have watched basically a hired video from probably the 80s, and it's probably just been after Empire Strikes Back. So,
do you remember the first? Do you remember the first VHS video you ever rented?
Yeah, I do actually, and I rented it quite a lot of times, and my mum got quite sick of me getting it. And actually, it was two films. Actually, one was for my mum, because she used to give me £2 to go to the rental shop to hire 2 videos, and I'll then go with the other £1, go to the sweet shop and buy loads of chocolates and crisps to eat to watch these films.
What? So the films were 50p each?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And the film I got from my mum was Kramer versus Kramer.
Oh.
And mum said to me at one point, will you stop hiring that one? Because I'm a bit bored of it now. It's like, well, you asked me to go and choose a film for you, mum. I mean, what age was I? 7, 8, going to the rental shops. I mean, I was around with these street urchins from about 6 years old, wandering the streets. And the film I used to hire for myself was, now I'm pretty certain, as long as my memory's not failing on me or tricking me, was Doctor Who and the Daleks, the movie first, one with Peter Cushing.
Oh.
Because I had a crush on the girl in there, because she was around the same age as me, but obviously not, because that film was done in the 60s. So by then, she was probably about 22 or 23. But yeah. But also, I think I hired Star Wars quite a lot.
Yeah. What about you, Tim? Can you remember your first rental?
First rental. My first rental, I don't know. I know I had my dad rent Annie the movie. That seemed like one of the first movies I remember him renting. Then he rented Return of the Jedi once or twice. I can't remember what else.
No, I can't remember, but they was about the only films I remember hiring quite a lot. Still, I got told. But I remember a friend of mine, he used to always hire Rambo. He used to I think he must have watched Rambo about 50 times. He knew every single line, but yeah.
I've just bought the latest Rambo film. I haven't seen it yet.
You ain't seen it?
No.
It's a good film. Spoilers. People don't like it, but I think it's quite good.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, and I remember before we had a VCR, there was a place where you could rent VCRs along with the videotapes to play them.
That's correct.
And I remember my sister rented a VCR, and she had trouble hooking it up. I think she had to have her boyfriend hook it up at the time, and then she ended up renting Crawl, Conan the Destroyer, and I think Red Dawn. All three of those along with the VCR.
Good films, all three of them.
Cool.
Have you seen Crawl?
Oh, long time ago.
Yeah, I think we saw that on premium cable before she even rented it, but I think that was the first time that I had probably seen Red Dawn and Conan the Destroyer. I hadn't seen Conan the Barbarian yet.
I mean, I remember the pain in the neck was when you got a video player, you had to then turn it into the TV. So you had to go twist all the knobs to get the car. Not like how it is days. You just chuck a SCART lead in and then up it comes on the set channel.
Yeah, no, they were the good old days. I like the video shops; they were good. You could spend hours in them, going in there, looking at all the different titles, looking at the posters, and you used to be able to go in the video shop and say to them, because they would have various posters up, and you could say, "Can I have that poster when you finish with it?" And they'd say, "Yeah, no problem." They'd write your name down on a little bit of paper. And then a few weeks later, when the poster came down, you'd go in there and you'd go home with a Nightmare on Elm Street poster or a Lethal Weapon poster or whatever it might be.
Mine did something totally different. When they finished with the posters, they should roll them up and put them in a box and then put a price tag on them. And so I mean, there wasn't dear. I think there was something like 20p, 50p, nothing, nothing to spend. It might even been 10p because we are talking the 80s, so it wouldn't been too expensive. But I bought loads. I think my bedroom was full up with posters at one point, including ex-rental videos. I was.
Yeah, no, the rental shop near me had you would just go in there and ask and put your name on it, and they would put your name down, and because sometimes you would say, "Oh, can I have that poster when you finish?" And they say, "Sorry, someone's already put their name down." But I remember getting some really good posters from there. I got a Back to the Future one, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. That was massive. That poster. A Terminator one, I think I had. I can't remember. What else? Oh, I can't remember. Several, but I mean they were really good.
Yeah. I mean, I see a lot of these movie posters now at the comic conventions, and you go through them, and some of the price tags, you're like, ouch. And then, they're so bright, especially because obviously, Star Wars is something I quite, like, more like love. And you see the poster and you see how much it is, basically like a foreign version of it. It's like £300 to £400, and you think, ouch. But people buy it. I mean, I've seen people, same as the toys. I mean, I've seen them go in and within 5 minutes, and I think nah, surely no one's going to pay that price in one go. I mean, then you see somebody come up to the store and they go, yeah, I have that Death Star, please, mate. I'll have, you got two and one's loose. Yeah, I'll have that as well, please, mate.
Yeah.
And you're like, you've just paid down, and and it's cash. You see the guy, gets out $2,000. And you're thinking, ouch.
Yeah.
But some people save all year long to go to one comic convention to buy the collectibles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is amazing, really.
And the thing is, it only takes one person to pay that money for one thing, and suddenly that becomes the going rate.
Yeah. I mean, I paid £30 for a carded R5D5. It was, I mean, the card back. It was no figure because I was giving it for my birthday. The figure, about a couple of weeks ago. So I wanted the card back for it. And I thought, when I paid £30, I was like, that's a bit expensive for a card book.
Yeah.
And then I had a chat with somebody else at there. And he went, no, you paid a good price for that. But I would never. And it's only because I wanted the card back to go at the back so I could put the figure in. Because I am thinking of getting it sent off to be graded.
Okay.
Because that's how good the figure is.
Right.
A friend of mine, he does house clearances, and they went down the basement and they found a box of about 20 Star Wars figures, and they looked like they never got paid with. I got a feeling the boy who got them wasn't a Star Wars fan. Basically, got hold of the figure, had a look, probably went, "Oh, thanks, Mum," and put it away. That's how mint. I mean, I've got about 4 of the figures from that protection. You look at the R5, he's mint. And I got the Darth Vader from that same collection, and he's mint. Obviously, they're all loose. And I got the Stamp people.
Oh yeah.
As well. I think there's only 3 I bought actually. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, so I am thinking about getting it graded. I'm also like not sure about this waiting time. So it's like, so
yeah,
I don't know.
It could be several months before you get it back again.
Yeah.
And it's quite expensive as well.
Yeah. I hear all different prices, and I just don't really know how to. I would like to know, but it's a bit complicated, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think I've got probably about 4 R5s now. I've got a stand solo R5 figure. I got a real dodgy R5 figure, what was showing its age. And then I got another one that had no sticker on, so I customized it to be another droid. And now I've got that one, so it's pretty good.
Yeah. Cool. I quite like some of those astromech droids that Stan Solo is doing. Some of those are really nice.
I've got quite a lot of them.
The green one's fantastic. I love the colour of it. It's really nice.
Is that the one with the white top?
I think so. There's one that's sort of a kind of really strange green colour, like a kind of like a minty green colour.
Yeah, I think that's the one with white top with black lines.
Yeah,
around it.
I think there's he stopped making a bunch of those, but there was one new one he was going to make.
Yeah, that's the. Oh, I can't think what that one's called. He's making.
It's green and white colored. There's like white with like a green coloring around the bottom of it.
Well, I can tell you what figure because I've got to go back and put the chart phone back on. It is. Pardon me. Let's move this figure. It is R4M9 he's making.
Okay. It was a rebel.
I've got the Power of the Force version. I have. Alright, bear with me. Back down on the floor. Oh well. Well, I enjoyed a bit of nice city space for all time. Alright, now I've got that. Back I go. So yeah. So Tim, how many vintage figures you got?
I don't know. I got quite a bit.
Here's a question for you two, actually. I can't remember if you've ever mentioned it. Have you got any of your original toys from when you was a kid?
Yes, some of them, but I recollected. There were some I either broke or got rid of, so I had to replace. Quite a bit of stuff.
Yep.
I got rid of most of my stuff.
Yeah, I was the same. I've only got one figure from my original collection. Well, from my toys, and that's a Battlestar Galactica figure.
This is one I've had the longest, probably. Jedi Knight Luke. He's
right.
He can barely stand up on his own anymore, and the paint. He's got all the bad paint rubs on him. I mean, I managed to get like a Taiwan made
nice
Kenner original of the same figure that I have in my bedroom that's in better shape than this.
Yep.
That I have walking the plank on the one-man sail skiff. I've got I've got a vintage Boba Fett piloting it.
Nice.
So, yeah, and this one I could barely get to stay on an action figure stand for some reason. It just came right off.
Yeah, some do.
If I put it on the left foot, it stays, but even then I have trouble getting them to stand up anymore.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the longest ones I had. I had this since I was, I think, 6 years old.
Wow.
I've got none of my original ones. That's a lie. I had just required one of my originals because the guy I sold it to could never sell it because I got paint on it. And so I managed to require it because I wanted to see if I can salvage it. And it's still in the progress of getting done. At some point, I'll finish it. At some point. So yeah, and that's the Lando Christian figure. But really, the only other figure I've got is a Cylon. I picked up a boot fair when I was probably 15.
Yeah, well, Cylon's from Battlestar Galactica. That's not Star Wars, though. So that's different universe.
Oh, yes. But all my toys used to play together. They did.
Yeah, I think we mixed some together, like the Twinkie from Buck Rogers and the Tiger Man from Buck Rogers, and then we had the Daggett from Muffet 2 from Battlestar Galactica, and I know we had like one Cylon. I don't think we have those anymore unless I have a broken arm Twinkie, but I did get this Imperious Leader figure used from an eBay seller, and it felt kind of sticky on top, so I tried wetting this down so it wouldn't feel so sticky. I mean, it feels a little bit funny on this head piece still because it's so old, but he's pretty much intact.
Yeah. Very limited run.
Yeah, it was Mattel that made these.
Yeah.
But they didn't last long because the show was off the air it started in, I think, September 1978, and then it was off the air in August of 79.
Yeah. And also because they did the movie first, and the movie done brilliant, so they rushed the TV series, I believe. And that's why if you ever watch the TV series, lots of action scenes are reused.
Yeah, and I think that was too expensive of a show to keep producing. It cost so much money to produce that.
Yeah.
But it got an Emmy. John Dykstra, who did the special effects on that, he won an Emmy for that show, so it's not like that show didn't win any awards, but it was so expensive, and it was. I think they kept preempting it, so I think that hurt the ratings on it. So they did bring it back as a new show called Galactica 1980, which they put that on a Sunday night, I think, in an earlier time slot, so that didn't help.
And they totally changed it all. And I've actually met some of the cast at some of the comic conventions I went to, and it was actually the 40th anniversary of Battlestar Galactica, so that was obviously 2018. And I actually got picked to ask the question, and I asked all the cast that was up on the stage. It was only 4 of them. It was Dirk Benedict. I can't think of the trio. The bloke who played Ty, and not Apollo. He was already long dead. What is it? I'm not going to be racist here, but the coloured guy, can't think of his name. Boomer.
Yeah, he was at the convention that we had here in Modesto a while back.
Nice, really. I'll tell you something. All the ones I met was nice, and Boomer, such a nice guy. I had a photo done with the cast, and as I was waiting, a woman was coming up with crutches. Now he could see that she was having trouble. He came out of the photo shoot, went up to her and said, "Come on, darling, put your arm on me," and we walked in. I thought, "I like you, mate." I thought he didn't have to come out. He saw that a fan was having trouble. He knew that she was obviously coming for a photo. So he came out and said, "Right, put your hand there, put your, and I thought, yeah, I like, But yeah, my question I asked was, what was it like to work with Lauren Green? And I wished I'd never asked the question because I made them cry. Because that's how much they loved him. I mean, they wasn't crying, but I could tell the question. It was a good question, but I was like, "Why did I ask this question?"
Yeah, Lauren Green died sometime in the 80s, but I think he lived long enough to where they when they reran Battlestar Galactica, I think he recorded these voiceovers for the re-edits of a bunch of the episodes, like Greetings from Earth was originally a 2-hour special TV movie.
Yes.
But then for syndication, they recut it into 2 parts, so he did a voiceover.
Yeah.
For the preview for the second part. when it got shown in 2 parts.
Yeah.
And then there were a bunch of episodes when it first was rerun in syndication. They did a lot of re-editing episodes into 2-hour movies. So there wasn't enough episodes at first.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen about 2 or 3 of them. But yeah, I mean, I think Battlestar Galactica also holds a special place as well. I just wish they did more toys, but it's a toy line that's basically good as dead, including the books, including the comics. There's not enough Battlestar Galactica fans out there for any lines to do a good run. Because every time they've tried to bring it back in comics or books, it just doesn't do well. I mean, the only one that did really well, that was Richard Hart when he done his books.
Yeah, he did a bunch of books, and I think those did pretty well. But sadly, I think he died of pancreatic cancer. He was going to be at this Comic-Con, this local Comic-Con I was at, but he was too sick to show up. And then within a month, I find out that he had died of pancreatic cancer. But
his last book he'd done, it was left on a cliffhanger.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and obviously number 8 never got released because then basically 2004 came along when new Battlestar Galactica was coming, and I think they basically said to him, "Right, you've got to stop doing these books." You know, so he stopped. So, but what I believe, and I don't know, I've got a feeling he probably did actually write the 8th book, but never got released, and we'll never see it to the so. Like some films, being left on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, I know. I think he co-wrote this one big hardback Battlestar Galactica novel. Remember, it had like pictures of the Cylons on the cover, and
I've got them all.
It involved Commander Kane as well.
Yes, yeah, I got them all. They fetch some good money now as well. I mean, I've seen some prices for these second-hand books for them, and it's some. I mean, I don't know what the price is at the moment, but I was looking about 5 years ago. Some of these books are like £400 to £500 and more. You're like, and I always kick myself because the second-hand bookshop at the hospital where I'm near, somebody chucked a load in there and they were selling for 20p. I was like, why did I not pick them up? So yeah. No, I mean, I've got a lot of the comics. I've got most of the comics actually, but like I've said, I don't think they've never sold enough for them to carry stories on, so they end up being cancelled. Sadly, and I haven't seen no new Battlestar Galactica comics for like the last, I could say more than 3 years.
It's too bad. So where'd Monkeyboy go?
I think he's probably gone to have a toilet break.
Okay.
I'll tell you something, when I met Dean, that was brilliant, that was. Dean from All Things from 80s. And I was actually having a chat with him. I was not that, just after he'd done the live stream from last week, saying to him, asking him how well did it go, and he said, it went all right.
Sorry, guys, I had to go and drain the snake.
See, told you.
Well, I never really watched Battlestar Galactica. I was never really into space stuff when I was a kid, apart from Star Wars. But I didn't watch Buck Rogers. I didn't watch Battlestar Galactica. Didn't watch Star Trek. I didn't really see any of those.
But it's funny you just said Buck Rogers. Second season of Buck Rogers is totally different to the first season.
Is it?
Like, yeah, same as Battlestar Galactica. Totally different. Whole different format. And I think both the reason why they got cancelled in the end.
Right. No, I wasn't aware of those really. I mean, I saw them occasionally when they were on, but I never really followed it particularly. I was a hardcore Star Wars fan when I was a kid, so anything.
I used to always rush home from work. It used to be, I don't know if you remember, it used to be on at 6 p.m. on BBC Two on one day in the week. They would show Battlestar Galactica or Buck Rogers.
Don't know.
And this was in the 90s when I was an adult.
No, the only science fiction I really watched was Doctor Who. That was about it.
Snap.
Yeah, I watched some of Doctor Who when I was a teenager, mainly Tom Baker.
Yep. Now here's a question. What's your favourite Doctor?
Tom Baker.
Doesn't have to be your childhood one.
Yeah, it's Tom Baker because that's the one I've
either
seen
Tom
most.
Baker or I did like who was the guy that had the cricket jumper on all the time?
Peter Davison.
Yeah. I quite liked him. Mainly because of his cricket jumper.
Me, it would be in the third Doctor, John Pertwee.
Okay.
Even though he wasn't my Doctor, my Doctor was Tom Baker. But when they started releasing them all on videos and I was buying them all, I liked his style and how he played and how he acted. And so, yeah, I quite liked him. He also played Women Grummins as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
What did you think on the new Doctors?
I haven't really seen any of the new ones.
I haven't watched it since I was a child.
Right. I have. I think if there was decent writers, I think some of them would had good. I mean, Matt Smith, I thought was a good Doctor. David Tennant, really good Doctor. Can't think of the other two. Well, they're not bad, but the woman Doctor, I think she could have been really good if she had good stories. But most of her stories was shite. And I think that's the reason why she got regenerated. Back into David Tennant.
So he's doing it again?
Yeah.
Oh.
Apparently 3 specials.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So obviously, because Doctor Who is struggling on the ratings, so they probably probably also said to him that he always said he regretted leaving, but he didn't want to be typecast. But he said he always loved being the Doctor.
Right.
So he always said he was always open for specials, and I think they went to him. How about coming back to do 3 specials where you regenerate back into the Doctor, but you're not the original one, you're the next, and it's like, Yeah, all right. So yeah, and even he says when he regenerates, he goes, "I remember these teeth." So yeah.
Oh, there's a cat. Hello, cat.
Yeah. It's Fifi.
Fifi?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hello, madam.
Yeah, she's excellent.
She knows she's a queen, don't you?
Oh.
Yeah. Yes.
Do you think there's some connection between toy collectors and having cats? Because there are quite a few toy collectors that have got cats.
Yeah. Like Retro Blasting, I believe he's got 2 or 3 cats.
Yeah.
He's got 5 now.
Wow.
Bloody hell. Yes, I know. Right. Oh, really?
Are sequels ever as good as the originals? Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes.
Really? But yeah,
Empire
sometimes.
Yeah, I think Empire Strikes Back is pretty well liked, and then I loved Return of the Jedi, and then sometimes the sequel can be better than the original. I heard Bride of Frankenstein was better than Frankenstein.
Oh, okay.
I know Steven Spielberg said he never wanted to do a sequel to E.T. because he felt it would hurt the original film. Wanted it to be one and done film.
Do you know there was a film called the E.T. Nasty?
Jason, we can't hear you very well because your cat's sitting on your microphone,
the
mate.
cat's covering up your microphone.
Yes, love you too, darling. Come on, let's go. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe there was a cheap knockoff from a film company called I think it might be called E.T. Nasty, and it's basically where E.T.'s basically goes a bit crazy and kills people.
There's one that was shown on MST3K called what's it called? Pod People was what it was called when it was on MST3K, but it's originally called Extraterrestrial Visitors, about these alien eggs that land on Earth. And a couple of them hatch, but the rest get destroyed. But one of the aliens that does hatch from an egg does go on a killing spree.
Yeah, it's probably the one I'm talking about.
It was a Spanish, like, sci-fi horror movie was from Spain, but it was dubbed into English.
We never got Mystery Science Theatre over here.
That's too bad.
Yeah, we never had it.
I think it may have been on Sci-Fi, but it wasn't on normal TV. I do remember trying to go and watch this, like, oh, that's a good film, and I went to go, and then it was science fiction, that, and I just couldn't watch it because they were coming in what me go, meh, 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 meh. And I was like, can't stand you 3 guys, so I couldn't watch it.
Yeah, I've never seen any. I mean, I know what it is, but I've never really seen any of it.
They were quite annoying, them 3 guys. Well, 2 robots and 1 guy.
Yeah.
Because they ruined some good classic films.
Because
they would come in and start talking about it, and all you want to do is just watch the film.
Do they stop the film and then talk about it, or do they talk over the top of it?
Sometimes both.
Right. Yeah, they would usually talk over the film. on MST3K.
Right.
And so it was quite annoying, especially when it was a good film. It'd be like, "Will you shut up?"
I wonder how they got around the licensing then, because they must have had to get the license to do it. But
yeah, well, some films like Beast of Yucca Flats was public domain, and then Brain That Wouldn't Die, The Screaming Skull, Manos, The Hands of Fate. Some of those fell into the public domain, but
right.
Yeah, I think other films they had to license, and then they tried to show the movie Gorgo on Sci-Fi Channel, and I think they got away with having that on MST3K once, but then it got pulled because they didn't have the rights to show that.
Right.
So I think
wasn't
the
Manos
time
supposed to go
on? I think
on.
they did license out some films, but there were other films that were in the public domain.
Right. Oh. Yeah, I think there was quite a lot of those MST seasons, wasn't there, or movies?
Yeah, I
They did
believe
quite a
so.
lot of them.
Yeah,
they did quite a lot.
I do believe Melissa quite likes it, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
So, if you watch this at some point, don't hit me, right? But I don't like it, okay? But yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to go soon.
Yeah, because we've been going for over 2 hours, so I was.
Yeah, so should we call that a night?
Yeah, because we're at the 2-hour 41 minute.
Yeah.
Almost 42 minute. 2 hour 42 minutes. So
we don't really want to do a long stream like Dean did, where I went to bed at 2:00 and you had already been on for 3 hours, and then I woke up about 3 hours later, and I thought, oh, let's see how long, and he was still on. I think he'd done 8. I think it was just 8. I think it was 7 hours and 44 minutes. I think he'd done.
Wow.
And all because he just did an impromptu live stream to talk about how he was feeling about everything, and it just everybody was there in the channel, everybody was talking, and he just carried on. But yeah, but he's like, and I'll tell you something, before we end this stream, when I met him and his missus, I tell you something, they're both such really nice people. They are. I mean, he was like how he is on his channel. He is. And when I go back out next year, we're going back toy hunting. We already arranged to do it.
Nice.
Yeah,
that must have been good. That must have been good to meet up.
Oh, it was. It also felt, in that it was our first time meeting, it didn't feel like it. I felt like he was a really old friend that I haven't seen for a while, but there was no uncomfort, anything like that. It was straight away, we hit it off.
Oh, nice.
Including his missus. She was lovely. So yeah. And it did help having a Thai speaking to some of the prices.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really great.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm glad you were able to meet up. That's really cool.
At some point, I'll meet up with some others. Maybe you at some point. You never know.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows?
But anyway, I think we should call it a night. So us in the UK, it's getting nearly midnight.
Yeah, it's quarter to 12 here.
Yeah, it's getting late for you guys, so.
What part of America are you now? I do believe you are in America, yes, or Canada?
Yeah, I'm in California. I'm in the United States, so I'm I'm on the West Coast, Northern California. Right. And my phone is ringing.
Yeah, somebody's telling you it's time to end the stream and they want to ring you.
Caller ID. Yeah, so I don't recognize the number, so I just let caller ID and answer machine take care of it.
Yeah. Probably a salesperson.
Cheers for inviting us on, Tim.
Yeah, it's good, Tim.
And I'll be doing this every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Coast, West Coast time.
Cool.
So.
Well, we'll chat some more at some point.
Yeah. So. Thanks
for joining. Nice chatting.
All right then, guys. Thank you so much.
Cup of cake.
Okay.
See you
Bye,
later.
everybody.
All right, see you later all.
And
bye.
Those in the chat. Bye.
Bye in the chat as well.
And have a good night.
You too.
Monkeyboy and Jason.
All right.
Thanks, man.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.